If you are on a twin flame journey, you probably know all the angel numbers and their meanings, which are usually linked to the twin flame journey. But in this video, I would like to give you a very different perspective on twin flame synchronicities by talking about personal twin flame synchronicities. Because if you discover and deal with personal twin flame synchronicities, your twin flame journey is shifted to a completely different level. So, if this is interesting to you, then stay tuned. Hi there, my name is Monica, and on this channel I'm talking about spiritual awakening and ascension for twin flames and chosen one, and all the topics related to it, like ascension symptoms, self-development, self-improvement, expressive art, how expressive art can help you, authenticity, spirituality, a lot of topics. And I'm also giving a kind of prophetic word or things that I perceive as my truth. And before I share what I want to say about personal twin flame synchronicities, please let me point out that synchronicities are only synchronicities if they hit you out of the blue. For example, I am very related to messages through car plates. And when I started dealing with twin flame synchronicities, I noticed one day that I started to look out for the numbers on cars. And then this is not a synchronicity any longer. A synchronicity has to jump into your face, so to speak, to be a synchronicity. So, for me, I have two synchronicities. The first is his name, the name of my DM, the name of my twin flame, and the second are feeders. And I have already made a video on the topic of the name of my twin flame. I will put a link to it. And it was really quite funny. And I saw his name on car plates everywhere. And I saw this name even a month before we met. And it never stopped. Throughout, we are now in separation for more than a year. Even throughout the separation, I received the twin flame synchronicity signs during separation. Okay, but this was good. It was, sometimes I was very annoyed, but it was as if the universe wouldn't let me go away with it. I loved this somehow. So, but recently, but I do not know when the exact moment was when this happened. Recently, something very, very weird happened, and this has been his name started to evolve. So first I received only his name on car plates. Then, and this is really very, very funny, I started receiving his name in the TV. Not so surprising, but in books. And this, what is very surprising with the books is that I never buy books. I never buy books in shops. Instead, I go to public bookshelves, which is quite common here in Germany. I go there when I want a new book. I browse a bit through it. When I find something that's interesting, I take it home with me. And sometimes these books are in my own bookshelf at home for months before I read them. And sometimes I even read them and I don't read them at all. Never mind. It started then that his name began to appear in these books. And no matter what topic this was about, if this was fiction, non-fiction, this name always showed up. And it was not the name I knew, which was a kind of nickname or abbreviation. No, the name that appeared was also a child form of his name, which I had used sometimes with him in the conversation also. But then appeared other names, children names of this name, and from then on, this evolved. Really quite funny. And sometimes when I open the book, I say to myself, oh, this is so far away. I won't never find a name like his in it. But it always came. This was really very funny. Okay, and recently I received even a message on Telegram from a spammer with one of these child versions of his name. Oh my God. I thought my heart would stand still in the first moment. So, and now what happens is, and this name is evolving. This name is evolving in very, very unexpected ways. So, he's an American man. I live in Germany. And now I often see also his name in German, which is kind of funny because he has German ancestors. And I see his name in a female form. I already asked myself if this happens, if this means that he has integrated his inner feminine. And recently, I also, or since then, it also happened that I have seen his name with a saint before it. It is so incredible. Really, really incredible. So, this was for the name. And the other synchronicity have been feeders. Quite early after, I think after the separation started, I started seeing feeders, finding feeders. And the very first feeder I found was very interesting because I live in the third floor and it was something that flew into my flat through the window. I do not know how it came there. I found it on the floor one day. No, it was not on the floor. It was hovering on the windowsill somehow. And it is very interesting. The feeders are evolving too. Sometimes when the connection is very intense and I go out, I find feeders every 10 to 20 meters. It has not been like this in the beginning. And there has been something, I do not know how I shall call it, because one day I really received a personal sign. I was walking in the woods and I was looking at the ground And then from the corner of the eye, I saw two little feathers which are shaped like a heart. And I saw this, and I continued to walk. And after some meters, something clicked. I said to me, oh, I think this has been for you. So I went back, and indeed, what I saw was two little feathers like a heart in a form of a heart shape, or like wings. But this was not all. Around it have been stones, and they were retaking the form of the heart too. And there has been a larger stone on one side, and like a kind of lock. And I will put a picture of it in a post under this video. And I have seen this, and I was very, very moved. And it got very still within me, because I understood that this is a sign, and this is really a very, very personal sign, only for me. And this was so important. It has shifted my whole energy and perception regarding the twin flame journey within a second, because I understood this is a message for me. This is a message from the universe, and it's a very, very special message that only I could discover and see, and no one else. And it has given me a lot of trust. And sometime later, I came across the same symbol, and I made a picture of it, and I will put it in my thumbnail, so you have a better idea of what it looks like. It is very, very special, but for me, it's very sacred. And now, even this is evolving. Recently, I found, because now the feathers are changing colors. Recently, I found this little green parakeet feather, because we have very large living parakeet populations, free living populations. And I asked myself, oh, is this a sign of hope? I came across a white dove one day recently. And of course, I saw a lot of white feathers then. And the feathers have also intruded my working space, so to speak. Because usually I see them in the street when I go to work, when I come back. But now I have already found two of them in the building of my working place, on the floor, waiting for me. This has been quite amazing. So, this is my story of my personal twin flame synchronicities, and someone has inspired me to do this video, because I am following a channel, Sacred Union Within, and we sometimes talk in the comments. And so Christy gave me the idea to this video. And I can only encourage you to share your stories, to make your own experiences, to stop only following the things that others put in front of you. Explore. Explore the world, explore the universe, explore everything, and make it your own. So I'm very happy if you share your twin flame synchronicity science story. And until next time, bye.